Got My Sister by Juliana Hatfield at number 13 on my fantasy playlist. One of my favorite songs back in the fall of 1993. Love Juliana Hatfield. Although she's put out about 16 albums. Her last album came out this year, 2018, covering Olivia Newton-John's records. A tribute album to Olivia Newton-John, one of her idols growing up. Juliana Hatfield from Maine, born in Maine, grew up in a suburb near Boston, and she was in a band called Blake Baby. She formed this independent band with Frida Love and John Strom. Hope I pronounced his last name correctly. Strohm. That was in 1986. They disbanded in 1991, although they reformed back in 1999, went on tour in 2001, put out a total of about 4 albums, Blake Babies. Juliana Hatfield, very prolific. About 3 or 4 albums with Blake Babies, and then 16 albums, solo albums, studio albums. Pretty impressive roster. Juliana Hatfield, after Blake Babies disbanded in 1991, she played with the Lemonheads. Didn't know this. She played on their album, It's a Shame About Ray. Remember that song, It's a Shame About Ray? That was a groover right there. She played bass guitar, and she sang backup on some of the cuts on that album, sang some with the Lemonheads back in the early 90s, and put out her first solo album, 1992, called Hey Babe. Big album on the independent charts. One of the best-selling independent albums of 1992. Then she recruited a drummer. His name was Todd Phillips, bass player Dean Fisher, Juliana Hatfield 3. The album, Become What You Are, My Sister, went to number 1 on the modern rock charts. And I flipped over this record. But my favorite record, she was absolutely killer on this record. It was just a flirtatious record of the first degree. Spin the Bottle. Remember Spin the Bottle? Hitline played that. Muzak's Top 40 outlet played that record. Spin the Bottle. And I just sat there enraptured, in a state of rapture. Just loved that record. Nobody else was playing it. Well, MTV played it a little bit, but none of the radio stations played it around here, down here in the South, in Alabama. Sure loved that record. Universal Heartbeat. That's the thing. I've only heard 3 songs by her. My Sister, Spin the Bottle. Universal Heartbeat. Very obscure now, but heavy rotation for a while on MTV back in early 1995. I remember the video where she was wearing her workout clothes. But let's get back to My Sister. My Sister was about, what, I don't know how to go about this. It wasn't about a real sister. Here's the deal. Juliana Hatfield, her older brother, went out with a woman named Meg Rafferty. And she came from a troubled family, and she lived with the Hatfields. She lived with the Hatfield family for a while Juliana was in high school, and she became a close friend, a confidant of Juliana. Juliana would share her fears, her anguish, cry on her shoulder. She was a great friend. She was older, like an older sister, 7 years older than Juliana. And not only that, Meg Rafferty had a huge record collection that she brought into the house. And Juliana Hatfield went to town on it. She ate it up. She got into music big time. Boy, having a big record collection certainly helped. Meg Rafferty, this might have been, she might have been having a birthday when she did this. This was back in the early 80s. Meg Rafferty took Juliana Hatfield to a Violent Femmes and a Del Fuego's concert. It was at a small nightclub. It was a basement club called Storyfield. It was in Kenmore Square in Boston. Juliana Hatfield, she watched these 2 bands play. She watched them play, and she thought, man, I want to start a band. because I don't necessarily have to play a huge arena. I could play a small place like Storyfield, like these bands are playing, and still make an impact. And Meg Rafferty was at that concert too. Wow, that's something else, isn't it? Isn't it? Well, I guess that's all I got to say about this record. Let me look over my notes to see if there's anything else I need to add to it. I think I mentioned that it went to #1 on the alternative charts. Did not cross over on top 40, unfortunately. If it were up to me, it'd be top 10. Top 10 hit. Well, that's it. Oh, by the way, no, one other thing. Spin the Bottle found out that Spin the Bottle was in a movie. You might remember this movie if you grew up in the 90s called Reality Bites. Starred Ben Stiller and Winona Ryder. And it was some sort of romantic comedy, but that song was on that movie and got a spot on Billboard's Hot 100. Only got as high as number 97, though. That was Spin the Bottle. Should have gone a little bit higher than that. Still adore that song. Adored this one too, My Sister by Juliana Hatfield at number 13, up 2 from number 15 on my fancy playlist October 17th, 1993.